Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. This video is preempted, meaning that we were meant to be doing a show live tonight with Chris Mason to preview Joshua versus Takam. So some of the things I'm going to say now, I'm probably going to repeat later on. Thank you for joining us. This video was sparked off by some comments made by Sky Sports News. In fact, it's going through my Twitter feed, and this is how it started. It was from the Lion, Lennox Lewis, the former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Lennox says, Sky poll, is Anthony Joshua Britain's greatest ever heavyweight? Hashtag SSN. Lennox Lewis, the former heavyweight champion of the world, says, things like this make me wonder who's running Sky Sports News these days. AJ is okay, but is this really what's on their minds over there? So the former heavyweight champion of the world, former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, is rather confused as to why he would not be considered the greatest heavyweight in Britain. Lennox goes on and says, fighter that best represents him. I think AJ is for the new generation in the UK and possibly worldwide. A great ambassador for the sport. Progress. These are the thoughts from the former world heavyweight champion of the world. Undisputed, I keep saying, Lennox Lewis. Now, I think for most people listening to this, when they read, anybody who's really got any logic will say, well, all right, not be the greatest heavyweight yet. He's got potential to become. But for right now, Lennox Lewis would stand head and shoulders above any heavyweight that's come out of the UK. Undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Fought the likes of Holyfield, Tyson, Tua, Michael Grant, Zelko Mavrovich. These are all guys that when they were around, remember Michael Grant was the next, in those times, the Deontay Wilder of today. Right? And everyone was touting Michael Grant to be the next big thing in the heavyweight division. Let's not forget Ray Mercer, Tommy Morrison. These are, guys that could punch. Gary Mason. These are guys that had ability. Oliver McCall. Do you know what I mean? I could just keep listing the names of over and over and over again, and consistently the best fighters in the world over and over and over again. The two guys that knocked him out, Oliver McCall knocked him out, was trained by the. And then the fight, Ocean's 11, he was busy on the set at Ocean's 11, didn't train for the fight, according to the reports I heard, and got knocked out with an absolute hell of a punch by Hasim Rahman. Of course, and Lennox Lewis did friend Glenn McCrory as well. See, I did a video, for those of you who watched the video, it was on Harry Kane, the footballer. And I said, British media have a way of building a person up to almost unreachable heights and then dropping them like a hot. They've done it with David Beckham. You name any star that's been a part of the UK, they put them to unbelievable heights, which that's a dream to even get to. And then when they fail, the press love it. So it's been about taking up as far high into the clouds and into the heavens, and then just dropping you and destroying you. All right. And of course, Lennox fought Vitaly Klitschko as well. Now, when we talk about being the greatest heavyweight ever, I'm sure there's somewhere really trying to be funny here, because there's no way anyone can take that question seriously. The best fighter has to be Vladimir Klitschko, who, bear in mind, was past it when Tyson Fury fought him. When Tyson Fury beat on, he's a better fighter. Haven't had no fights in the last 2 years, and supposedly somehow or the other, he's a better fighter when Joshua beats him. Yeah, Joshua gets knocked down and has a life and death struggle. The guy had been on his ass for 2 years, more inactive. So I think Sky Sports News are either doing this for a buzz or there's a fanboy in the office. Now, see, I kind of feel I feel sorry for Joshua. I do. And this is the point I feel sorry for him, because he's just a young man that wanted to do what he needs to do to become the best in the world. He's grafting, he's doing what he needs to do. He doesn't need all this extra hype and bonanza behind him. He doesn't need it. And it doesn't help because it makes people who actually like to watch boxers grow and develop and see how they do, they don't want to hear all this razzmatazz hype out there and do the business. They don't want the extra hype, which is almost a fantasy like. At the moment, if you listen to will never ever get beat. Joshua, if you listen to some people, would never ever go down. He went down against Vladimir Klitschko. At this point, almost he's Hercules. I made a statement the other day, I'm a unit. I mean, yeah, he's a big guy. Given so, he's a heavyweight. 6'7", I don't know how tall he is. He's a big guy. Okay, he's a heavyweight. He's very muscular. He could go and be Mr. Universe. But I think Sky Sports have a responsibility to be educating fans. It's very important. What isn't helpful at this minute in time is where these comments have been made, which, to be honest, are almost, they're fanatical in a sick way. Joshua's a good fighter. I'm not disputing that. But and then what you're basically doing is wiping out and dismissing what the achievements of Lennox Lewis. Absolutely disgusting. Representing Great Britain, he should be recognised as the greatest heavyweight of the modern era in the UK. And one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, Lennox Lewis, has to be. Now, when people say that Joshua is the best by a mile, no one can go 12 rounds with him right now, I will dispute that point. The guy who's fighting next, Carlos Takam, if he's able to take Joshua's punch and go into later rounds with Joshua and take him 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 rounds, we'll see how Joshua does with that situation. We've seen Joshua box off briefly against Klitschko, and he didn't seem to know what to do. Joshua seems great coming forward, but on the back foot, we have to wait and see. But I'm sorry, I can't subscribe to this Joshua being the greatest heavyweight of all time. Hey, listen, fanboys will jump and say he's the greatest heavyweight of all time, but how can you make somebody the greatest heavyweight of all time, or British heavyweight of all time? Brazil took Joshua 7, White took Joshua 7. Yes, and your point is, Takam got do shit, got sparked by Povetkin. What shows how much you know about boxing, because Povetkin. So Joshua is the best heavyweight at this current moment, and I don't know how you can say that. To say something the best of the era, he's got a era. The way people said that Lennox Lewis was the best in his era at the time was because he fought everybody. You can't fight. You can't just base on fighting one person who hadn't fought for 2 years, who was past his best, which is Vladimir Klitschko. One guy does not make you an all-time. One guy does not make you. So in that case, you then dismissing the guys like Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Joe Louis. You're dismissing all these guys. In that case, then let me just say now, well, Chris Eubank, let me see Chris Eubank, Jimmy. Well, Billy Joe Saunders must be the weight of all time, or the best middleweight Britain's produced in the last 20 years. It's a bit difficult to make statements like that, and people keep referring to Tyson Fury. History will judge Tyson Fury. You can't judge a person based on what they're not doing. Muhammad Ali would have been the absolute, he could have been the greatest untouchable fighter of all time had he not gone to prison. Okay, so let's not go there. It's all if, buts, and maybes with Tyson. And I'm in any sort of conversation about Tyson Fury till he gets back in the ring. Tyson can't be judged for what he does outside the ring. Tyson cannot be judged for his Twitter posts. Tyson cannot be judged for the statements he makes. Tyson will only be judged for what he does inside the ring. And the last man he fought was Vladimir Klitschko for the championship of the world. That's it. So the jury is out on Fury until he gets back in the ring and he fights. So forget. So, you know, Joshua has to fight all the other guys in the division. It's way too early to say that Joshua is the best fighter in the universe or the best fighter or greatest British fighter ever. Absolute garbage. You can't judge it on that now. So, you know, let's see what he does against Carlos Takam, because this is what happened. If he doesn't blast Carlos Takam in rounds or 2 rounds and he goes 12 rounds of Carlos Takam, people will be backtracking. The same people on here that said he'll get blasted in 3 rounds, Carlos Takam, they're saying something different. Okay, so you know, I'm sorry. I really want to have logical conversations with people. So let's see what logical comments to make in the room tonight. Well, the truth says yes, he is. Tube says AJ best boxer in history. Barry Ryan says laughs, and Reese Mason says no. Getting no sound here at all. We'll never have opponents in this era. Let's see what's going here. Saying I've got no sound, but there is sound because obviously people can hear what I'm saying. This is area to be. No Tyson Fury, no, and Lennox are. Joshua is the best right now. Well, I don't know about that. W show, right? Well, I didn't say. Sky Sports said it. Fury has the tools to beat Joshua on points. Fury's finishes Gray and M. He isn't yet, but he has the potential to becoming. Oh yeah, Joshua may have the potential to become the Britain's greatest heavyweight, but he isn't. Fury beat Vlad, so how is this even a question? Someone smoking that good stuff again. Never be the same again. I agree. I don't think Fury will ever be the same again. Right now, of course, Fury is the greatest of all time. Well, okay, fair enough. Moving on. Fury hasn't attempted a comeback yet, so no one can say he's finished till he returns. No, nobody can on his condition and what's going on at the moment. It's hard to say whether Fury's going to come back and do anything special. Tyson Fury is a special man. All you unbelievers will believe that he comes back and knocks Bruno version 2 out. Well, he might do, but that for now, it's all very much hope and a prayer with Tyson Fury. But he didn't know how to manage his weight. Came in too light against Lewis. Got to agree with you there. Past the outshake, Lewis beats a prime Vitali. Fox Vlad's head off. AJ went life and death with a 2-year out of action. Oh man, that didn't land a glove in Fury. Says SSN must do a poll to create buzz. Get SSN some coverage. All the Sky Sports women, Josh living. Nelson is AJ's biggest fangirl. Got his tongue right up his ass and giving him a reach around. What is that? Adam Alley says, bigger they are, harder they fall. Nelson's great at his job. He makes casual fans big believers. Feed Khabib says, John, mile, no one can go 12s over him right now. Well, I disagree with that. Lennox Lewis is probably the best heavyweight ever. Klitschko brothers are up there too. Don't know best ever. You'll have to have an argument with guys like Joe Louis and Muhammad Ali. Klitschko took Joshua 11 rounds. Well, he hasn't been 12 rounds yet. Joshua's best heavyweight moment in this era. We'll have to see. Joshua will go 12 rounds. Joshua's a rich man's Frank Bruno, quite possibly. Is anyone wasting money on AJ's fight? But with Fury out, he's the best. Okay. Joshua's only rival is Bomb Squad Wilder. He's and Povetkin are cheats. Fury's obese and loves sniff. DJ Slick says the division isn't even strong enough at the moment for anyone to say AJ is the greatest of all time. His wins are good, but it's too early for legacy talks. I agree. Fury won't come back. He's always the best in the division at the moment, in my opinion. John Bob says Fury greatest of all time. Joshua is rich. Quite an easy answer to this daft question of this video. Well, it's not a daft question because I didn't put it. It was Sky Sports News. If you count Lennox as British, then no way. If you don't, then maybe with Bruno and Fury. What about David Hay? What about David Hay? Laugh out loud. Klitschko ain't a cheat code for being the next Lennox Lewis. Thank you very much, the bad guy. Stephanie Hopkins. Fury only beat a poor Klitschko, and before that running joke, Joshua beat anyone on the boxing circuit right now and for the next 5 years. Joshua is the greatest heavyweight out of from Watford. 1 Lewis, 2 Bruno, 3 AJ, 4 Fury. Who says he's better than? I've not heard that. You're speaking shit. Well, Lisa, do yourself a favor. Get on Twitter. Do yourself a favor, Lisa. Before you jump in, go on Twitter. Tweet by Sky Sports News and read the tweet back from Lennox Lewis. That's what happens when you jump in a room and you don't listen. The AJ Hate Club is firing. Well, it's not a hate club. I'm sympathetic for AJ because all the guy's trying to do is get on with his career, and I don't think Sky Sports are helping matters. I think they're making things worse. Greatest wife snatcher of all time. LOL. Hammer is still crying behind the towel. What I will say is this much: is that it's pretty unfair. I think when look, Joshua didn't tweet that out. Okay, so he should be left to one side about it. But it's the whole promotional drive. The other problem is when you've got a fighter that's attached to a network and Sky Sports, you've got Sky Sports, right? You've not only got Sky Sports, right, and the boxing, they've also got Sky Sports News. So they continually influencing people. And I keep saying it. Those who control the media control the masses and control the minds. So at the end of the day, it's up to you if you believe that greatest British heavyweight ever. But I tell you, I've had some crying nights. And I'm sure many of you, you may be older than me or younger than me, that would have believed in the hype and have learnt the hard way when watching these fights. Media builds a fighter up, then you put your money down, you lose your money. So, I don't know. Thing is, we're all in a new era, so no one can hold a candle to Lennox Lewis. So Joshua may well go down as an all great. Well, that remains to be seen. I tell you now, I quote now, the guy that beats Anthony Joshua, and he will, the guy that beats Anthony Joshua, you wait and see. All these people who are AJ fans at the moment, as soon as he gets beat, as soon as that 0 goes, boxing fans, and especially these casual fans, they're so fickle. The minute he gets beat, all the hang-arounds are going to disappear. All the big talk is going to be all one side, and it's how he gets beat. If he now gets out and gets chinned in a couple of rounds by an unknown fighter, wait and see. Wait and see. So, if we put AJ and Lennox in the prime in the ring, Joshua would spark him. Joshua is a great fighter, but Lennox would outbox him if Joshua don't fight him. Oh my God. Oh dear. Lennox Lewis trained by Emmanuel Stewart. Fought Vitaly Klitschko. Look, you have to look at guys. Olympic gold medalist, proven Olympic gold medalist. There was no debating Lennox Lewis's Olympic champion. In his 15th fight, or 14th fight, he fought for the European title against Jean Chanet for the European title. In his 15th fight, he fought Gary Mason, who was ranked 4th in the world by the WBC, I believe. Mason was on the verge of a world title shot against George Foreman, I believe, at the time. So the question should be, what has he got to do to be the best heavyweight of all time? Well, basically, he's got to fight everybody in his era and beat them. lot of people forget, not only did Lennox Lewis beat all the guys that put in front of him, he also avenged his losses. That's something that's. By the way, Baylor, I'm not an AJ has done nothing to convince me. Not, I think a lot of people are playing on that. He got off the deck against Klitschko. And a lot of people play on that over and over again. Who's better at propaganda, Joseph Goebbels, or BWTM? But White got beat. White got beat and became more popular. This one out. Why do you think White? What has based Dillian White getting popular? Guy into America fight a guy who had 49 years in front of 100 popular, does it? I mean, the media side of Dillian White is very popular. That's not translated into fans, has it? Dillian White is still the guy that got beat by AJ. That's what it is. Dillian White is still the guy that got beat by AJ, and that really is what it is. Why can't I view this? Because there's nothing to view. White is popular for his personality. Well, for his personality is popular, but it's not translating in tickets, is it? George Joyce will be undisputed heavyweight champion in 2 years. Well, according to Bermain Stavern, he calls him Robocop, but very hard to believe Joe Joyce becoming undisputed heavyweight champion in the world in 2 years. There'd be a few tasty guys still around. Joshua should still be around. Daniel Dubois will still be around. Would you stick Daniel Dubois in with Joe Joyce? White lost to Chisora, to be honest. Well, it was a close fight. It was a close run thing. I thought Chisora beat him, but hey, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Okay. My thought is, no, Joshua is not the greatest British heavyweight ever. 2, Sky Sports should know better. 3, has the potential to potentially become the best heavyweight in his era. But remember, Lennox Lewis fought the Michael Grant of his time. Oh, sorry, Lennox Lewis fought the Dillian White of the Deontay Wilder of his time, which was then Michael Grant, tall, big, knocking guys out, Americans hyping him up. So it's Michael Grant. So he'll have to beat Deontay Wilder to do that. To beat. He'll have to fight Joseph Parker, which, you know, in terms of geographically, Joseph Parker would be the David Two era. Geographically, that's it. So he'd have to beat Joseph Parker. And then the other guys in the division he'd have to go on. I mean, you know, up and comer, which would be Daniel Dubois. He'd have to beat Daniel Dubois on his way up. You know, he may have to take on Joe Joyce. This is moving. If David Haye beats Bellew in 2018, will he be facing David Haye? David Haye. We just don't know. We just don't know where things are going to be, to be honest. We really don't. Even if AJ beats Parker and Wilder, I would say it's still a weak era and not comparable to the other past years. I have to disagree with you there as well, because people will say Lennox Lewis's era was weak. He beat an old Evander Holyfield. He beat an old Mike Tyson. Okay. Then you could say Michael Grant had no chin. We could through. You know, if you want to do that, if you really want to go down, each era's weak. You know, that era was weak. You know, if you want to say it was a tough era, is it the era that's weak, or is it the fact that these guys did not fight at the proper times? Ian Fraser and Foreman and all these guys, they all fought one another, and there was no managers and promoters trying to wiggle their way out of situations. The best fought the best. So the era that Froch fought in recently in the super middleweight division, was that a weak era, or was it an era where the best fought the best because they were forced to fight the best? Era, you know, I don't know. I'm just throwing things up there. Oh God, hate us not beating Joshua. What? How fast will Dubois be moved for the ranks? We don't know. He's still he's still a prospect. Dubois, he's still at prospect level. We have to see how he does. We have to see how he does. And you've got Povetkin as well. Holyfield, Tyson and Holyfield are still Hall of Fames, of course, absolutely. There's no one for AJ right now. All right, I dispute that. Povetkin, of course, people say Povetkin can get blasted out in 3 rounds. See, I think there's unrealistic expectations of Anthony Joshua. If Wilder beats AJ, Parker, Povetkin, Ortiz, Miller, White, he's the best of this era. There you go. Of course, Joshua's got Ortiz to deal with as well. The Kubrat Pulev fight. People will say, well, you would have blasted away Kubrat Pulev. You've got as well. I forgot about him. Miller is another one. Let's not forget Bryant Jennings back in the mix. He'll be back in the mix soon. So many different things to think about. But the one thing for sure is these cross comparisons between eras are ridiculous. Well, they have, because you're talking about somebody becoming the greatest British heavyweight ever. And you can't not go in the past comparison to the present. You've got to look and see what they did in their times to look. You're talking about ex-Nat Lennox Lewis. If you ex-Nat Lennox Lewis, you can't look at you can't call somebody the greatest British heavyweight without looking backwards. So there you go. That's what it is. So for now, everyone's got their opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But for me, I just don't think Joshua is the greatest British heavyweight ever. I don't. Lennox Lewis is heavyweight at the moment. So and hey, we could even go forward and say, well, all right, you know, Bruno fought Tyson. He fought Ron Crusher Smith. He fought Tim Witherspoon. You know, he fought Oliver McCall. He fought Lennox Lewis. He fought a lot of guys. If Joshua were to fight those type of guys, could he be any of those guys that Bruno struggled with? Well, that's a shit question. Oh, you know what? So at the end of the day, again, it wasn't me who asked the question. It was Sky Sports News that asked the question. And that's it. Join us later on when we talk some more serious stuff. We've got Chris Mason later on. We'll be talking to Chris Mason. And at 12 o'clock tonight, midnight, 4 hours from now, 9, 10, 11, 9. Well, 3.5 hours from now, we'll be talking live and exclusive to Abel Sanchez. We'll be talking to Sanchez about Gassiev's great win over the weekend. Some people said it was a win against an old faded guy, whatever. So we were talking to Gassiev's we'll be talking to Gassiev's trainer and find out any more about Golovkin, and we'll be taking from there. Right. We're out of here. See you at 10:30, and then again at midnight. Thanks for watching.